Hello everyone and welcome back to Southern Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well in this weekend. And by the way, happy Easter to all of you and to your families. I hope you guys enjoyed quite a nice time. As you've known, as I mentioned before, I am still with this setup until next Saturday. So as of next Saturday, everything should be back to normal, the full outfit back, all of the 9 yards. But so far I still need to stay like this, but recovery is going very well. I'm almost at 100% and I should be at 100% by next Saturday. So very looking forward to having the normal setup once again. By the way, I'll be installing a mic sometime this week, probably tomorrow. So after a lot of requests made by the audience, I will have that in place. And first of all, I would like to thank to all of you who've been with me in these terrible setups. Now, I wanted to discuss two very different things. By the way, just a little tangent in the beginning. So Peter Schiff is now celebrating profusely on Twitter or on X about gold new all-time highs, blah, blah, blah. Look, the reason why I don't talk about gold so much is because gold needs to go to about $2,600 and to $3,300 to break even from 1980 stop and 2011 stop. And this is using the government data. So it's a complete terrible asset. You see, and the thing that puzzles me about Peter, it doesn't puzzle me, it just annoys me, is that he's always talking about all-time highs in gold in nominal terms. Now, if you know anything about Peter Schiff, he's completely crazy about inflation and real terms. Is completely, addicted to those terms, and he talks about everything adjusted for inflation except the price of gold. And the reason for it is that gold is such a garbage asset that it doesn't even keep up with inflation. So that way he would have a much harder time selling gold. If he just says, gold all-time highs, he knows that it will attract a lot of retail investors and they will be convinced to buy gold because basically it went up, and that's it. So and I've seen him on the Twitter saying, "Oh, Bitcoin has not made a new all-time highs in terms of gold." I said, I remember Bitcoin. Basically 1 ounce of gold buying 1,000 Bitcoin, and now 1 Bitcoin buying almost 35 ounces of gold. So sure, pick and choose your poison, but in any case, this is just for people who are very crazy about that guy to be very present in their mind how garbage of an asset and an investor it really is. Now let's go to the good stuff. So you guys know that I have what I call my retirement bags, which constitute about 85 to 90% of my position. And then I have 10 to 15% lottery tickets, lottery plays, fun coupons, you name it. Now, what are consistent? What is why do I call them lottery plays? The reason is very simple. Every cycle you have a few narratives and you have a few new coins, and it's impossible to know in the bear market what is going to be a narrative. Now, you may recall that in the beginning of the bear market, I said, well, AI seems to be a narrative. However, I was still undecided on it because it was happening far too early. However, it has proven to be one of the narratives. So in that sense, I was right and wrong, in the sense that I was right that AI was a narrative. I was wrong because I thought that it would have lasted much less time due to the fact that was coming so early. So I'm a guy that tells you both ways, when I'm right and when I'm wrong. I'm not here to pretend that I'm Jesus or that I can see or Nostradamus or anything like that. But the issue is you cannot tell in the bear market what's going to be the narratives of the next bull market. As such, when you get to the new bull market, you need to figure out which one's going to be. Problem is, because they are new coins, you cannot really make much deep dive into them, because unfortunately you don't have the time that you have on the bear market to spend weeks and weeks researching and doing all of this. By the time that if you do that on cycle 1 narratives, by the time that you figure it out, the move is already over. So, lottery tickets. Which ones do I have? I have PIKAMOON. Everybody's aware of it. I'm up about a bit more than 10x because I was a buyer in the pre-sale phase 1, in which the price was 0.0002. Then on launch, I'm up somewhere between 15 and 20%, and I've staked all the coins in order to get the pulse points so I can participate in projects going forward. Then, which one do I have as well that I've mentioned this to you? I have Wolf, Andy, and Brett, all of them on Ethereum. And I've put on my list at the time exactly what was the market cap when I went in. So I don't remember the exact price, like I cannot tell you the exact price, but I do remember the market cap that was written down on Dex Screener, so that's what I've shared with you. Oh, I also have PulseSpot, which is up about 60-70% from what I sacrificed. Then I have D-Lens, which I put something like $500, and now is being converted to a new blockchain over the next 10 days, to be seen how likely that, that will actually do anything. We'll see. But we don't have too many holders, which is good. And I mean, if it goes to zero, fine. I lose $500, not a big deal. So those are my lottery tickets. Now going back to Wolf, Andy, and Brett. Now, what is the reason for picking those? It's basically part of the meme coin mania around Pepe. So if you will, they are natural leverage on Pepe. So if Pepe does very well, I do expect them to do very well. But this is the power of lottery tickets. So I went in on Andy at about $1.7, $1.8 million market cap. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere around those lines. Now the whole thing crashed like to 300K market cap or 250K market cap. And tonight, overnight, that thing is up, last time I checked, $7.5 million market cap. Actually flipped Wolf on Ethereum and is now doing somewhere between 7.5 to 8 million market cap, which is basically a 20-25x just on one single day. And one of the things that I like about it also is that one of the original Pepe investors, one of the original people that made a lot of money on Pepe, is now starting to buy Andy a bit more aggressively. But the point is, once again, it's a meme coin, it's a cycle one narrative. I was, by the way, on Brett, so people don't think that I'm here talking about it. On Brett, I'm still down something like 80%. But at some point I was down 95% on that one. But that's the point. Like, I didn't for a second panic on it because it's such a small part of my portfolio. Now, if I'm right and all of these do well, because Brett is now gone from 95K market cap yesterday to almost 500K today. If I'm right and I do very well on these plays, I mean, I already have plans to start taking out my principal on that. And hopefully I have one of these plays that can actually take out my entire 100% principal, which means that I will be positioned for this cycle purely on a risk-free basis. Meaning I can make the best decisions by not stressing any minute of the day about price performance. Was I wrong on this one? Was I right on that one? Blah, 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 etc. That's the power of lottery tickets, and that's the power of meme coin plays. Now, am I advising you to go and buy them? No. But if you guys are here, if you guys follow me, I made it very clear. Each of these coins is on a separate wallet for me, so they never touch my core coins. And number two, I always invest small amounts because I am fairly convinced that they will do well. Oh, by the way, on Gophers on Solana, which is also another meme coin that I have, it's up around 50% from where I was when I got in. So also doing fine. Point being, all my lottery tickets are doing very well, with the exception of D-Lens because I don't know what's going to happen to it. and with bread, which is bread is still down something like 80% from when I bought it. And you guys know that I'm always very honest. But the point is, I've won on some, I've lost on some, but the real thing is that by far I'm up, just on Andy, I'm up more than all my investments on lottery tickets. That's the key. And now talking about pain, you see, people get confused about PULSECHAIN, PULSEX, which are my main coins, as everyone knows. So actually, I think there's maybe a good chance that PULSECHAIN and PULSEX have actually had their local bottoms, and that will start doing very well from here. Because I did see a lot of capitulation, a lot of madness, a lot of anger, a lot of despair, a lot of blood, a lot of people stressing the F out, which is all things that I like. So you see, I'm probably the only YouTuber on PULSECHAIN and PULSEX that has never changed my tune as it was going up and as it's been going down. I'm always consistent because I understand the point of calling them my retirement bags. You see, they are cycle 2 narratives. That means that they won't pump, they will not, to be clear, they will not pump as much as cycle 1 narratives. But if you do find something with a good founder, something that works, something with, that actually delivers on the promises operationally speaking, you will have a run, or at least you have a high probability of a very good run on those coins that are on cycle 2, particularly PULSECHAIN and PULSEX, because they are cycle 1 coins, but they're playing out to DeFi copies of Ethereum, which are basically cycle 2 narratives. So they pump less than the others. But it's a trade-off between, okay, we don't pump 10,000 fold like Pepe does, but we also, but in my view, I'm in a much higher probability of doing very well, although with higher security. So it's a trade-off between risk and reward. That's it. That's all it is. That's all you can hope to achieve. Now, does that mean that I'm going to be right and this thing's going to pump, at least 100x and I'm going to do very well? Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but I do feel it has a much higher probability than other coins. You see, because it's very easy that I come here and I show you my, let's say that Andy goes to $7 billion market cap. That means it will go up 1,000-fold from here, which means I'm actually going to become a millionaire on a freaking coin with a different frog, that I didn't take 3 seconds to think about before I bought it. Okay, let's say that happens. I can make myself look like a genius, or I can just be honest and say, look, I played the lottery ticket, I had some reasoning behind it, so you can call it an educated guess, but at the end of the day it was pure sheer luck. And I'm going to be one of the few people to admit it, because I don't need to drain my following for money. Because if I do pick one of those bombastic plays and I do extremely well, because people know I was in Andy at $1.7 million market cap or so. If the whole thing goes to, let's say, $1 billion, it's very easy for me to sell myself as a genius. And it's very easy for me to play off my audience if I wanted to, in order to get passive income from it. But I don't do it because I don't need to do it. That's the key. I'm not here for YouTube glory. I'm not here to be, the number one YouTuber with the biggest private group and trading and come with me and I'll tell you what's going to be the next meme coin that's going to do 1,000x in a week. No, I don't need to do any of that, because that's not the reason I'm on YouTube. If you guys want to know why I'm on YouTube, just check my first video on this channel. It's going to be very clear. Long story short, let's get to the meat. I do believe PULSECHAIN and PULSEX will have a very nice run. Is it starting now? Will it start in a few months? Who knows, but I do truly believe so. So I've positioned accordingly. Now, I'm not under any dream that we're gonna go up 1,000-fold. So I am playing for the case that we're gonna go up 50-fold. So if you go up 50-fold, I'm already retired. See what I mean? So I don't need 1,000-fold. That's why, but I do believe that 50-fold is a much higher probability one that any other 50-fold that I can get on a new coin. Because a new coin, you know, as high it can go 50x, it can also go down to 0 with the same speed. And that's what's very important to understand, because people really get this stuff confused many times. And actually, one of my best performers, Wolf on Ethereum, was rug pulled. The WIF, dog with the hat, you know, that went up at 80,000 fold, and it's now like $4 billion market cap or so. The developer of that coin, rugged the entire project, made $29,000. The community took over, and if he actually never dumped on his following, he would have had by now $350 million. So if you guys anytime feel bad, that guy screwed his own community for $29,000, and if he just held it, he would be worth $350 million today. So that'd be a lesson also to all the scammers and all the people out there. You'll be surprised how high crypto can really go. In all summary, I've seen a lot of pain, angst, stress, people selling, fumbling their bags on PULSEChain and PULSEX. That is great. That is exactly what I'm looking for. I've actually bought aggressively over the past week or so, as I've been telling you. I've told you that in a previous video. I've done it again. And I've caught actually some of the big dips, you know, including PULSEChain going below day one SEC phase, which means I actually did quite well on that one. I've seen a lot of blood and people getting super stressed out. That's all positive to me. And I do think we may be starting a big run shortly. And even if we don't, understand what you're playing for. When you're on PULSEChain and PULSEX, you're playing for free leverage on Ethereum. So if Ethereum does very well, let's say it goes to 8,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, the higher it goes, the higher PULSEChain and PULSEX will go. In the worst case scenario, you know, based on the trade that the Sacrifice wallet has made on Ethereum, they can just sell off the profits, rotate them into PULSEChain, and pump everybody's bags 100, 200-fold, whatever the case may be. So never forget, when you're playing on copy of Ethereum kind of coins, this kind of stuff, you're playing on leverage on Ethereum without the liquidation. Very important. Just like Bitcoin is leverage on the stock market, just like Ethereum is leverage on Bitcoin, just like altcoins are leverage on Ethereum, particularly copies of Ethereum, other layer 1 chains become leverage on Ethereum without the liquidation. In case people don't know what that means, something like this. If you buy Ethereum 5x leverage, that means that if Ethereum goes down, 20%, you get cleaned out to 0, because 5 times 20, that's 100%. So you get completely out liquidated. You have 0 now. But free leverage on Ethereum means if Ethereum pumps 5x, these things pump 50x. But if Ethereum goes down, these things go down, but you don't get liquidated. Unless the coin, of course, goes obviously to 0. Then you get liquidated like anybody else. But that's the point. Maybe that's the lesson, huh? I was struggling quite aggressively on Andy. All of a sudden, overnight, it's one of my best performing coins. That's the power of memes. Don't underestimate the power of memes. They're very important. Don't underestimate the power of cycle 1 narratives. I do believe I found this one on the meme coins, which is basically call it the Pepe coin ecosystem. That's what I made my bet on, and I went for Ethereum. And, you know, market caps are very, very low. Let's hope that they keep on going well. But in any case, guys, may this be a little illustration of what I'm trying to achieve here. And with that, I leave you be. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.